fighting for singles. I made some photos and I'll be putting these on Facebook. All right. Singles times looks a little bit different than people who may be getting married, have a fiance, and it doesn't exactly mean we are unresponsible, irresponsible about our time, but it does look different. Healthy habits include, of course, you have your income. You might be in the process of choosing your career, but whether you're in the income stage or you're building a career, you want to get to a place where you're confident about your job. You know you do it well. You're moving up in it. You're advancing. You know you've got it, and it's a confidence factor for you, and that it matters. Your job matters. What you're planning to do with your life matters. It's important, and you do it well. We also have social time. I don't think a lot of people realize that that singles still need social time. And it's not just them going out to the club. It's not doing things like that. They need time to have with their family. They need time to have with friends, to check in with each other, see how they're doing, to diffuse, to connect, to unburden themselves. They need to have the time and the places to be able to do that. And some of those times don't happen quickly. You have to relax in the conversation, be really checking in with each other, not have your mind 50 other places, just time to stop, be interested in each other, like genuinely, and finding out information from them, letting yourself talk about stuff that's going on with you, a trusted person. A lot of people, I think, who complain all the time is because they don't have a few trusted people that they can do that with regularly. You have to let it out at some point. And the worst thing to do is to let it build up and it just explode all over somebody. That's really dangerous. So you need to find these people, a few different people that you can unload on or talk to or diffuse a little bit of that tension versus letting it build up or just complaining all the time. Those two things do have a negative reaction and have a negative effect. And it's really a question of, do you want to affect people positively or negatively? All right. And my situation is, I don't really have a family support system. I have my dog Nana. She's an emotional support animal. That is not something that I have to tell people, but I like to educate people on it because they're not aware of the rules or the associations with that. And I have no problem whatsoever defending the thing that stood beside me in my worst times when sometimes my family didn't do that. It wasn't my family in those hard times. It wasn't my family in those cold nights sitting there watching me cry. She helped me smile. She helped me to do that. And so she is my support system. And I make sure to spend time with her and make sure not to neglect her because she is a responsibility and responsibilities come with that. She's not an accessory. She is not just a member of, she is my family support system. And she served me well and I will take care of her. She's not also with the emotional support. She is not something that is just, oh, I would like to have her. She is necessary. All right. And then we have, of course, you want to make sure that you're exercising. And I have another paper here in just a second. Whenever you want to be cleaning your home, organizing your papers, organizing your work stuff, preparing, learning, doing classes for whatever you're doing, taking other classes to invest in yourself. You know, that if you do all these now, it eases your mind later. It makes the process when you're going through these a lot simpler. And it prepares you to steward the responsibilities God's already given you well. Okay. Here's this one. All right. My dog is a little bit unique because, again, I've had a lot of death touch my life, and I only have a certain amount of time with her, and I really want to make sure that I spend what little time I have with her. And being a single, even though I don't have kids or whatever, she's kind of like my child to me. And I have to stipulate that with people to make sure that they understand, not because I have to, no one's entitled to this information. But people I care about, I want to let them in, and I want to let them understand, because it's not a stupid reason. I mean, honestly, I have no reason to explain anything to anybody, but it's not a stupid reason that I'm requesting that you acknowledge, that you respect this boundary. But you shouldn't really need any of that as a person who's a good friend or someone who wants what's best for me. You shouldn't have needed any of that to begin with to respect the boundary that I place before you. Again, she's not an accessory. And it also claimed, whenever I had a huge sense of the military, my battle buddies and taking care of them. What person who has her life purpose is to make sure that I'm okay and make me feel okay, and that saves my life on a regular basis, would you not make sure that thing is cared for and taken care of when they've given their life to do that? But that translated, she is now my battle buddy, and it is my responsibility. She cannot care for herself. She cannot provide for herself. She is my responsibility, and I'm going to steward that responsibility, that blessing, to the best of my ability, the good, the bad, whatever it is. All right, and the next one. Okay, and the last one is pretty much the other side of it. The exercising, cleaning house, your errands, you want to make sure all that's prepared so your work week goes smoothly. You got all your groceries, you've got stuff to make your lunch for work. When you do those things, you can cut down on costs. You don't go to the vending machines as much. You don't make those impulse buys as much, and that helps a lot. You have, if you're like me and you write, you have creative time, or if you're an introvert, you may need that creative time to self-invest, the classes, time with yourself, planning time to encourage yourself, time to meditate on good thoughts. I need those things, and maybe everyone doesn't need me, but I know for a fact a lot of introverts are the exact same way. And I know from a good friend, well, not a good friend, but a good teacher from another class, that introverts, there are a lot of successful introverts. It's harder for them because they're in the social worlds, but they are more purposeful about their time than people who it's easy for them to be social. So I am continuing to work on that, but indeed, my schedule is set up so that I don't have to feel rushed, I don't have to feel overwhelmed and things like that, and I'm learning now to set these boundaries so that people don't encroach on that. And that is perfectly within my rights. No one is entitled to that, but I love sharing with people, and I want to let people in my life. And I want other people to learn how to do this for themselves. So I also have a few sleep issues, and that allows me, once I'm not as anxious anymore, I'm hoping that goes away and I'm able to use my whole day and maximize my time and be able to do that. But at this point, I'm too stressed and I'm too anxious and there's too much else going on that I'm not able to do that. So I have to even work with a limited amount of it and still make sure that I'm not feeling stressed out or just overwhelmed. And I take steps to do that. And of course, some people might want to add volunteering time, especially singles. That invests in you, that invests in other people, that makes you feel wonderful. That's a good use of your time. All right. And time offerings to God mean a lot. Because investing in someone else, investing time, sometimes, especially if he's giving you that instead of money, one is no greater than the other. He gives the ones with the money because that's what he's asking them to do. Maybe it's harder for them to obey there. The fact that they obey anyway means way more to him than the actual dollars. God does not care about a piece of paper or an idea. He cares about the underlying stuff that's a little bit deeper than that. But volunteering and investing in other people, encouraging people, sitting there listening to them, it's not more or less important. They're all very important to God, and it's a good way to learn how to give. That's another way that does not include money. But is this time and investing in people creates something, it buys something that is a lot weightier than a piece of paper, and it's going to outlast paper. It's going to last for eternity. And it plants seeds that grow, and that's a very good idea. All right, that is all I have today, and I'm excited, and I'm excited that God's showing me things that he wants me to help other people learn, and I'm excited that there's other people on this journey with me. I'm not the only one that goes through this, and I know that other people are going to get something out of it too.